Gentlemen, welcome back to a little bit more of Tales of Phantasia. It's going to be, once again, just a little bit. That does not look like a nice save file, if you ask me. Going to be just a little bit. What that means is essentially we will be playing about 2 to 3 hours, depends, and then we will switch over to Zelda Randomizer again. Just more practice. Either way, last time we left off, we almost died in the battle against Ifrit. Clark, with his fire absorption guarded ring, managed to clutch out the victory alongside Cress, and Mint and Archie decide to take a little nap. They kind of imitate Dan here. If you don't know Dan, you haven't watched Jagger. That's okay though. Basically, it's a reference to a character in Final Fantasy I for the NES speedruns, where you run the entire game with one character, and the character that is dead for Jagger's part usually is named Dan. That's just a thing. Either way, now, last time we managed to get over to Alvanista. We managed to save the Crown Prince from the possession of a demon and got the Alvanista's king as an ally, more or less. We learned about the whereabouts of some of the summoned spirits, and we also learned that, well, we have managed to get quite a few summoned spirit locations that we will be able to utilize and know how to get to them now, one way or another. And that's kind of what we are doing. We also received permission to enter the mines of Moria, and now that we have the Sorcerer's Ring, we actually can go a little further into the Mines of Moria. Because without the Sorcerer's Ring, we were not able to actually continue any further, but now with the Sorcerer's Ring, we can spit random stuff and continue. Before we go there, I'm going to restock a little bit on holy bottles. Wait, that's the wrong vendor for holy bottles. Here. That cave in deeper levels, I actually have never been to the deeper levels. Mind you, no spoilers please. But that is actually something I plan to explore. So, we take the boat back to the mainland where Alvanista is, and also the mines of Moria. Moria? I always said Moria because I thought it was translated to Moria, not Moria. But I was wrong apparently, or this is a different fan translation. Either way, we are walking back into the mines of Moria and try to progress a bit further. It's going to be interesting. You thought this was Tales of Phantasia, not Lord of the Rings? I mean, yes. That is accurate. By the way, those staircases here, they don't have any encounters. Wait, we also have not actually unlocked anything down there. Down there is another door that we cannot open. Basically, it's a way back up. An easy way, which is nice, because there's no exit spell or anything like that. Either way. So, having pressed the switch in the bottom right, just where we came down the stairs, this actually opened up this door here, in case you were wondering what that did. Now we can push this statue here, or pull it, I guess, over to this switch here. It opens the door, and we can move through. This is once again a switch that you have to just keep pressed. And now it's getting dark. Let's explore the dark. There's not a whole lot in here, I don't think, but who knows. Ice Tornado. So I need to have Archie actually stop casting Ice Tornado because it just stops the entire combat, so to speak. And same with Clark, I guess. Lurk mode enabled, enjoy your lurking. End up just calling RK or just Keroro. Fair enough. I mean, it is a really weird word to pronounce with Roni, because, as I said, if I didn't watch that anime series, I would not actually know how to do that. So, alright, I'm going to disable Ice Tornado. So, we actually acquired Firewall, And I guess we never really used Tractor Beam, but we got Tractor Beam used against us. And there's a specific use for Tractor Beam that we will have later. In the meantime, I'm going to allow Archie to cast those basic spells. They don't actually cause the game to freeze in combat. And we also acquired Ifrit from Kalar. We might just use that to show how it looks and how it works. Also, there's just lizards walking around and random bats. And we just continue here. And here's a switch. And the door opens. And here, door opens on the left. So basically, this is the switch, the reason as to why we could not have progress any further without actually having the Sorcerer's Ring. Hi! Have we found the switch? If we press it, we can continue on some more. Right. I mean, if you could press it, but you can't, but I pressed it. So, by the way, in a very roundabout way, kind of indirect, just kind of seeing whether there was anything else. Moria Gallery, floor 6. There's spikes here. How much damage do the spikes actually do? We have 188 HP on the Cress and 960 on Archie. It looks like the spikes don't deal any damage. There we go, now the spikes deal damage. It's kind of strange. So that was 18 damage to Cress. That was 14 damage to Mint, and it was 15 damage to Archie. So, the damage is percentage based. What percentage it is? I don't know, 1%? No. No, I don't think it's 1%. 18 of... I don't know how much that is, but usually damaging floor tiles are percentage based. They are not too bad, so I don't worry even too much about it, just explore across the spikes. Huge fly and an ogre! Also, we actually learned a new ability, the Tiger Blade. I actually have not even... activated that yet. We probably should do that. Hey Dark Shadow Rage, welcome! I'm doing quite excellent, I hope so do you. So, instead of Lightning Bolt twice, we get now Tiger Teeth, or Tiger Blade as it's called in later iterations. And you might wonder, why don't you actually have Cyan Bolt here? Because Cyan Bolt is, in almost all cases, inferior to Lightning Bolt, and I don't want to accidentally use it. There's more lamps over there. By the way, the lamps don't illuminate the darkness at all. They are just kind of a dim light in the dark, so to speak. And more spikes! By the way, over there, that's just the entrance. There's literally nothing else in this entire room. And... where are we here? Curious. There's a chest. But I can't reach it. And I get teleported back into the spike room. That's kind of rude. So let's actually have Clarf use Ifrit and just see how that works. Ifrit! Little Ifrit comes and just unleashes a bunch of fireballs. So, unfortunately, Ifrit as a summon is actually kind of not particularly good. The reason for that is the same reason as to why Bladestorm is not all that great, generally speaking. Because enemy defense applies on each hit. So let's say the Bladestorm hits 10 hits for 10 damage each. That is 100 damage, right? But if an enemy has just 5 defense, that means each hit only deals 5 damage, and that basically halves the damage. And it's a kind of a similar concept with Ifrit. So Ifrit can deal decent damage if enemies don't have much magic resistance or any at all, and it might be a good, useful element against those enemies, but that's not all that common. Also, I need more orange gummies, I just realized. So we cannot step onto that thing over there to get that chest. I actually have no clue how to get that chest. By the way, up until now I was just kind of thinking, or not thinking too much about those statues at all, but those statues look an awful lot like people. Pull this lever. Oh, well. Lever pulled, and we get a lemon gummy. Lemon gummy is interesting. It basically is an upgraded apple gummy. Instead of 38% HP recovered, you recover 30%. Huh. Has 60% HP. It's an unused item. It's kind of good. Also, if you use a rune bottle on an apple gummy, it upgrades into a lemon gummy. So later on, when you have much more gold to waste, you can just upgrade all your apple gummies to lemon gummies and stuff like that. You also finally ordered your new 3DS XL capture card, so the wait begins. Oh wow. Good luck with that. I hope it works out well for you. Tiger Teeth is really good, yes indeed. So, we can save here. On the Y. So naturally we need to light the unlit torch. And here's also kind of where you realize that this little sorcerer's ring device, it's not just for pushing, but it's also for lighting up, which means it has some form of heat in it as well, which might be relevant later. And we get teleported to a thing. Hey, there's a chest! And we get teleported away. And we're back here. So, what do we do here? There's a sign. If you want the treasure, first you must walk away from it. Well, we did just walk away from it. So we can go up here, and over there. We get into the combat, but not yet. And here we find the second lemon gummy. Nice. So, we got the treasure, and then we teleport outside. What do we do now? You might think there's something maybe hidden in this thing, but nope, not really. It's a bit of a weird one, because now when we go back inside here, now we start in the top left of this room. There's a chest, but I think by now you do know the drill. You need to walk actually around in order to acquire the chest. So, and this is Tiger Teeth. Ooh. That was a lot of damage. Those things are quite dangerous, it looks like. Alrighty, we survived it. I'm slightly surprised. 447 damage. So this is the power of enemies in hard mode. I would like to point out that I have equipment. The game doesn't really expect me necessarily to have it. Oh, by the way, Mint learned a new thing. Restores a fair amount of HP. And basically, heal is her upgraded first aid. Now she heals a bit more, a fair bit more actually. No pun intended, but she heals a lot more now than before, which is really good for us. So, here's another sign. If you want the treasure first, you must walk away from it. Indeed. Yellow cake found. I like cake. And this yellow cake is actually not that kind of yellow cake you would initially think of when you hear yellow cake. A trading good. Careful, it's really explosive stuff. So the trading good is actually a bit misleading, because you don't want to use it as a trading good, you want to use it as an item in battle. What does it do? Well, it says it's really explosive. You will see. I'll demonstrate this. Probably not in this one. The treasury must walk away from it. Probably not in this one. Find a mystic broom. But I will show it off soon enough. As in not in this session. Let's put it that way. So here, Archie uses brooms, and now she gets a mystic broom, which raises her attack by 80 points. That's quite a substantial upgrade, but have you ever seen Archie attack physically? You probably have not. And unfortunately it does not raise her magic power either, to my knowledge anyways. So, yeah. Not all that great, or is it? It can be useful actually in very specific instances. Also, you may have wondered, what happens if you don't pick up the chest? Well, the chests are actually the trigger for you to get to the next room after you pick them up. Also here, we can light torches. So we light all the torches in this room. kind of like he would think you should do, and the door opens. Naturally it does. And here we are back in the dark room. We go to the left, where this is not the way to go, I know that much. And I feel like I should probably just use a flare bottle on Cress, increasing my damage. Oh. They don't take any damage from lightning. And that's eruption. Those guys might just be straight up dead. They're not dead. They didn't even take much damage. What? Are they immune to fire damage? No, Arch just took a bunch of fire damage right there. What? I don't understand why they didn't take any damage, to be completely honest. No clue. Either way, those guys seem to be more fire rather than anything else. And we just acquired something. I didn't manage to read what it was. Let me check that real quick. We got a heavy stone. Makes you immune to the effects of a detractor beam. So yes, it's an accessory. You literally equip a stone and the detractor beam will no longer affect you. You know the thing where Jamir earlier picked us up and dropped us down? Yeah, that's a detractor beam. Can be useful specifically against Jamir, but I don't actually recall any other enemies that use detractor beam. So unfortunately it's a bit late for that. There is another heavy stone you can pick up, by the way, earlier already, which I kind of missed an opportunity because it's literally just in the trees in the left side of the mansion, just like heavy stone, because why not? By the way, if you think you don't need your pickaxe anymore, well, I have bad news for you. You need the pickaxe still, so if you sold a bunch of stuff and thought, oh, I probably don't need the pickaxe anymore, you get to here and you're stuck. You literally cannot backtrack from here. It's not possible, it doesn't work. So you will have to reset or die in order to get back to any reasonable place. So yeah, you need a pickaxe. Don't sell it. It's a bad idea. And you know the most embarrassing thing is, a lot of people know that I speedrun this game. And well, fun little story. I liked explaining the story and the perils on playing this game, and this is one of the things I like to tell. You know, if you just go here and you sold your pickaxe and you can no longer hit that rock, and what did I do in that run? Well, I accidentally sold the pickaxe at some point and I had to reset and backtrack all the way out of it. It was really embarrassing. And hey, Rotterfall Noob, and grease to you, Fabian. Welcome, I hope you guys are doing well. So, torch, we know the drill by now, right? What was that? We tried to light it and we get hit instead. For 36 damage on Cress. I don't know what percentage that is, but it's like 2%. Either way, this is a trick. The game is mean like that, but just to shock you, but it doesn't deal much damage. But here, throw this switch. Sure, you actually need to activate this lamp instead of doing this. Either way, here we have another switch. What does it do? Nothing. What does it? Ah. Here, we now have a flying pad, and there's a lot of spikes here. It's not necessary, but it's kind of nice to not have to worry about the spikes. Also down here is another yellow cake. There's only 3 yellow cakes in the entire game. So, if you want them, those are 2 already. The third one, I know, is actually technically in here too, but I don't think we can reach it yet. I don't actually know where exactly it is. Oh, by the way, on the next opportunity I should try to show you the firewall ability. Well, actually I know a good opportunity, we will get to that. Also, that was a lot of damage again, please heal, Mint. And we just didn't take any damage from spikes. So what else do we do here? There's some apple gummies done here, I believe. The rune bottle. The rune bottle is nice because it's pretty expensive to buy them, even though we do have ready access to them at this point. It's just like, what, 3,500 gold per bottle? Pretty expensive. And I believe that's pretty much all there is for now. This door here is closed, we cannot open it, and this switch, it does not open the door. In fact, all it does, seemingly, it just drops down some droplets. So... why does it drop down some of those droplets? No clue. What does this switch do? This opens this door. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. These are the stairs that lead back up. So basically, this is our next checkpoint. We'll reach the next depth of the Mines of Moria. And there's not a whole lot more we can actually do in here. Thanks to the Sorcerer's Ring, we managed to progress further, but let me show you what happens when you just try to go on. Also, this switch here. This finally opens the door that we just showed earlier that was closed and didn't immediately open. Also, in case you're wondering, why are there no encounters? I actually used a little trick. Ooh! Calamari. Alrighty, actually, Clark used Ifrit on those, and Mint. Not Mint, actually. Archie, you use Fireball on those guys. So I believe Ifrit deals good damage on those, yeah. That's like 20 times 89 damage. They just have a lot of health. Also Mint just died. Oh boy. Those little slugs are brutal, like they deal so much damage in such a short time span, it's kind of ridiculous. I did not want to show it off how much damage they deal earlier in the sewers. By way earlier, I guess, but you see they just completely obliterated Mint and Archie within seconds. And he's running out of TP as well, but that's alright. Either way, basically what I did is I used, in order to avoid the encounter, I used the Holy Bottle before interacting with the switch, or stepping on this switch, even though it's already pressed, and now, in this room here, I will never encounter enemies anymore. Isn't that convenient? Just because of how the mechanics work. I explained it earlier already, so that is the short version. So, fire! We need to go through the fire, so if you want to absolutely avoid taking any damage from this fire at all, which by the way deals 14 damage to Mint, not a whole lot, you would need to walk all the way back around, which I don't recommend, you just walk through the fire. Also, this is what the switch is for. You just extinguish the fire. It doesn't seem to be all that great if you ask me, because there's no way to go the other way around, but hey. Moria Gallery, floor 10. Dead end. Okay. And here we have a chest. Turquoise ring was found, or turquoise? Turquoise? Not sure how to pronounce that. And what does a turquoise ring do for us? A summoner's ring, the bearer is granted bonus TP. So, more maximum TP for Clark. Not bad. It's a summoner's ring. What does turquoise even summon? We will see. And here, pull this lever. Sure. Something appeared. Pull this lever. Sure. Something appeared. And where are we here? What is this? It's some sort of ancient tablet. Look at these runes. I've never seen anything like them. It says, death is always at your back, for all return to the earth from which they came. The fire of life is at the birth to come. The tears of mourning woman are on your left, or mourning women, and the wind blows forth from your right. Archie? What are you doing? It's primal elven lore. It's an ancient language that only elves can read. I can't read it because I'm a half-elf. See, I'm not as ditzy as you think. What? I've never said that. Regardless, what does the tablet mean? I'm a little rusty. Let me see here. They probably looked funny at her. She doesn't like that. I think these are references to the 4 elements and directions for each. We haven't harnessed all the elementals yet. Perhaps the people of Almanista can help us find them. Agreed. Let's head back. So this is your call to literally, well, head back, because without the elementals we actually cannot do much more here yet. This is the room where, well, we would need to have them. The Earth Spirit Gnome lives in the Cave of Spirits. That cavern is the west of Belladum. West? It's east. That's a translation error. The Wind Spirit itself lives in the Long Valley. Well, we found that one out quite some time ago. We did indeed. The Fire Spirit Ifrit dwells in the Molten Cavern. I've already contracted with Ifrit. Indeed. The Water Spirit Andini can be found on the North Island. The North Island is near Venetia. I bet we can get a ship there to take us. So I believe if you interact with this sign, this will also tell you where you find Andini and you can get there. But it's easier to just talk to the guy in the castle in order to learn where Andini resides. So either way, this is unfortunately all we can do. Might as well disable the fire because we can. And then we walk back outside. By the way, those staircases here, they don't contain any enemy encounters at all. Except for floor 5, because this is once again... floor 4, excuse me. This is once again a regular floor where we basically started at. So, floor 3, floor 2. And great to see you, Durand. Welcome, how are you doing? So, that's that. We managed to get pretty far into the mines of Moria. But we still need to find the 2 remaining elementals, and that's kind of my goal for now. Or our goal for now. There's more stuff to the west on the world map. I'm not going to go there quite yet. We will go there soon-ish. And I'm just curious what's up here, or if there is anything up here. Sometimes you find wandering swordsmen that can teach you techniques. I guess there's not anything there really. Hey, Signeedle! Mint has gained the level, that's nice. Alrighty. So... Klaus said it's west of Belladum. It's actually east of Belladum where Ifrit resides. We actually still have a bit of the village to explore, and I suggest we kind of try to do that here. Restock on holy bottles, those are always helpful. While I don't avoid all encounters, which I literally could because I've practiced that, I'm going to avoid a lot of encounters just because I feel like that is the proper thing to do, to not essentially elongate the game too much. So I also need to restock on orange gummies, but in the meantime, let us see where we can talk to some more people in the village, because I don't really know most of them myself. Hi. My son went to Midgard and I'm worried about him. No wonder, he's in the middle of a war, basically. I'm leaving town before our town government starts a war. Did I already read that? I did, actually. I've been in here. I remember this leads up to the other place. This card actually has had interesting information. Not like a dog, right. A woman's voice. Quick, put your pants on. I think my husband is home. Not again. Wow. Really? I'll greet to you, Reticularis. Welcome. What can I do for you? I need some apple gummies and orange gummies. Life bottles and flare bottles. And we don't really need medicine bottles. I'm not going to stock up on max gummies until I feel like I have plenty of money. And right now we have a lot of money, but we kind of need it. We've been in here. I do remember talking to those people. I guess we've probably explored everything last time. Either way, let us move on. And it just so happens, remember when they said there's a cargo ship over to Bellarum? Well, this one here is the cargo ship. Greetings, sir. This is a cargo ship to Bellarum, but I can take you one way if you like. A fee's on the go per person, 4 on go for the party. Sure, let's go. So this is an easy, quick way to get, well, close to where Ivrit resides. And here we are. By the way, this port here and the port where you go to Demitel are connected, as mentioned before. If you have not collected the items on Demitel's port, you could actually just grab them here if you wanted to. Hi. All these sailors look the same. You do, guys. Hi. Hoist the sails. I'm learning how to be a navigator. That's nice. Either way, here we are. Just to the west here, there's Bellarum. If you remember, I actually went to this port here quite some time ago to pick up the Mystic symbol and also an elixir, which kind of begs the question, did we just kind of steal those resources from, well, considering they are a cargo ship delivering here? And in case you're wondering, no, you cannot take the ship back to Alvanesta. They are literally only one way. So we are kind of bound to walk instead. So, also, Sakuraba actually told us something interesting, and that is relevant for this cave here. He told us the password. You need the proper password. Key. Ku. Re. Mo. It opened. So, this is the password you need for that. There's actually 2 different passwords that give you a different message. I've literally tried all combinations, by the way, just to see whether something happens. And in the PlayStation's remake of this game, there's actually a password that gives you a hidden item, which is a really good sword, and the PlayStation version actually, the first thing it does once it gets to the past is it inputs this password and gets the sword. It's a really strong sword that you can get. By the way, in case you're wondering, there is actually no regular random encounters in this area here. But there's this little guy. Hi. Lost gnome. I'm lost! Will you help me, my friends? Help this poor gnome? Sure. Oh, thank you! So, this is actually a rare exception of the gnomes being nice. And this is just a very simple escort quest. Don't worry, it's not particularly long. Way shorter than Liam's quest in Terranigma. But here, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for Archie to not cast any spells on her own volition. And let me show you something. Those little gnomes, as soon as I get close enough to them, they will basically come to me and chase me. And they engage me in combat. There is one way to defeat those clay idols. Those clay idols are pretty much invulnerable except for tractor beam. At least that's what people told me. Tractor beam! Bomb! As I see, I don't deal damage, they deal 400 damage to me, holy cow. And Arch is probably going to take a bunch of damage too. And yes, you can die after... We get 4 gold for our troubles here. You can die after you already won, so be careful. Unfortunately, Clark decided to just kind of take a nap. Where is my life bottles? There we are. I just bought new ones too. And also, I did buy some rune bottles too. Let me actually use a rune bottle here on the White Mist. Once again, the White Mist allows you to run away from combat slightly quicker. And I'm actually going to be using this in a bit of a, let's say, weird way. You will soon see. I still need the jet boots actually for running around quicker, so you get the mist rune for now. Running away 50% quicker from combat. I just want to show off a little bit of something. Either way, this little gnome is still following us, even though we just beat up some of his comrades. That's fine. And there's more of those gnomes, but you can't completely avoid them. You just need to be a little bit fast. The correct pronunciation for turquoise is turquoise, right? Turquoise? Turquoise? Interesting. I guess it really depends on the language. Basically, I always learned to pronounce it like French, so it's turquoise, but I never really thought about pronouncing it in different languages. I appreciate that. So, here we have the little gnome joining. Lost gnome, thanks! And they just run away. If you try to go through here without helping the gnome, they just kind of go, hey, don't be rude! And they just keep chatting among each other. Just kind of completely blocking you off. So... let's give Mint some TP back so she can heal more easily, some for Cress as well. I'm actually also going to use a rune bottle on the hourglasses that I still have. Well, before I do that actually, let me see something real quick. I unfortunately can't remove the pickaxe too easily. That's okay. Alright, let's use a rune bottle on the hourglass. You will soon see why. Becomes a chronoglass. Once again, chronoglass and hourglasses stop time in battle. Our chronoglass longer than hourglass, about 10 seconds. I don't actually know the exact time. But before we get to that, so there are those little guys. Hi. Are you here to fight with us? Fight the gnomes? I actually don't know what happens if you fight the gnomes and win. Basically, either way, those little gnomes are just really, really rude, generally speaking. And they are also really, really strong. Tractor beam! So, the thing is, originally I thought you could actually not defeat them until someone told me that they are actually vulnerable to tractor beam, which I did not know for a long time, so I actually don't know what happens when you defeat them. 1 experience gained, 4 gold acquired. Give it up! It's useless! 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 I had no idea. That's interesting. So those guys just keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back. Interesting. So there's nothing to the left, there's nothing to the right. Actually, there's a little bit of something to the left. Are you here to fight with us? No. I'm bored. So, either way, what you're supposed to do is hit the switch. Why is there a switch here? I have no clue. So the switch? Sure. And suddenly an alarm rings. And all the gnomes just go and check it out. Why is the alarm going off? And they just kind of all wonder, why is the alarm going off? And just completely leave their post. Like, they have an alarm, they have no idea what it is for either. It's just interesting. Either way, there's nothing in here. Oh no! No, no, actually respawn right there. You have to do the same thing again. And just to briefly save again, you may have noticed what is going to come up, because there's a save point. Although save points don't necessarily always mean enemies or bosses in this game, which is interesting. Where are we? Who invades my home? And this is Gnome from Tales of Phantasia. So, this gnome dude here, you can only hurt him while he is combined. You can literally not hurt him right now. It's impossible. As soon as they converge, I can actually hit them. And those little guys now converge. I tried to time a lightning bolt with a flare bottle, just so when he arrives. Try to do this again. And this is why I created the Chronoglass, by the way. Because those guys can just stay away for ages. Also, here's a fun thing. normally you cannot run away from boss fights. But because I have the Mistral equipped, it reduces the value from an impossibly high number to a regular high number, and I can actually run away from combat in this. It's really weird. Unfortunately, I will probably die before I can make it happen, but I would like to show it off anyways. Also, I just died, that's okay. Also, the music is amazing here. So, the gnome fight is not particularly dangerous or difficult for that matter. It's just a little bit annoying because you can only hit them at specific times like that. Oh, I did not realize that I need to hit the switch again, even after I saved there. Good to know. Alrighty. So, let me try to have a setup where I spread up my party, so we have a better chance of surviving whatever they are throwing at us, at least one at a time. I would like to have Mint a bit further away, and I'm also going to give Mint Black Onyx Persian boots, so she has more HP and also will survive generally more, which is nice, so she will be able to completely heal through. And for Cress, I'm going to also use Persian boots for now, reducing incoming damage by 30%. For Clarf, I'm briefly going to equip the Opal Ring, reducing or increasing physical defense by a whole lot. And also Persian boots for him to reduce damage taken. Archie unfortunately can't really do a whole lot with those thingies, so she's the one wearing that thing. And let's see. May I as well give her reversal. I'm not going to keep that, so if I lose some items, it's alright. Basically, just maximizing Mint's TP so she can heal more. And wish me good luck. Actually, also, Clarf is missing a bit of HP. Not too much though. Alrighty, so this is Gnome once again. I try to run away from this battle. Once again, this is not something you're supposed to be able to do. Essentially, from what I understand what happens, the way they define as to whether you can run away from boss fights or not, let me also... Oh, that doesn't work. The way they determine whether you can run away from boss fights or not is by setting basically a really high number. And when the game recognizes, oh, the number is that high, so that means you will not be able to run away from combat because it's a boss fight. But the Mistral just halves that number regardless, and thus I'm able to actually run away from combat. Also right now it looks like Gnome is really behaving a little bit nice, maybe. But luckily, in a lot of cases, when you get hit by a spell by some enemies, you actually do get interrupted by running away. Alright, we are almost there, almost there. It almost takes about, like what, 1.5 minutes to run away? And I just wanted to demonstrate it. So Archie actually does damage with the broom. So we run away. And what happens? We are stuck in between those 4 diglets, or gnome I guess. And we can't move. So this is what happens when you run away from any of the boss battles. It's just the easiest to do on gnome, and this is also where I figured it out just by accident when I played this game casually the first time through. Just accidentally figured out, hey, I can actually run away from combat. I wonder what happens. And when I interact with any of those, it's a book of spells. Archie learned how to cast the Ice Wall spell. That's kind of weird. It's a book of spells. Archie learned how to cast the Ice Wall spell. So, interacting with the left gnome teaches me Ice Wall. Again and again. Again, it doesn't actually do anything more than once. It's a book of spells. Archie learned how to cast the Stone Wall spell. Which, by the way, that's in the chest just behind them, which is also kind of curious. Interacting with this guy here. We learned the Fire Wall spell, so all the wall spells are right here. Just magically inscribed into those diglets. And the upper one just doesn't do anything. We're also stuck here, we cannot do anything else, so I actually have to reset. But I just wanted to show that off. It's really weird. And there is no practical application in the speedrun to skip anything. The one thing that was most promising actually did not end up working. Either way, let's go ahead and defeat Gnome, I would say. And actually kind of wanted to see... He already has Persian boots equipped. That's okay. Alrighty, let's go. So, in order to efficiently defeat Gnome, what I do in a speedrun is actually... I already messed up. I needed to put Crest in the far front. Either way, first thing I do is I use a Chronoglass to stop time in battle. Attack 3 times. Then on the 4th one I use very quickly a Flare Bottle. And then hopefully get to attack once more and I would finish off Gnome. Gnome actually does not have particularly much HP, which is interesting. There we go, and we managed to defeat Gnome without too much trouble. It's just really difficult to hit him at times. 13,000 gold. Oh yeah, that's a lot. Archie gained 2 levels and we get a question mark book. Let's take a look at that before I forget about it. I can't believe it! I lost! By your laws, you now owe me a contract, correct? Yes, we will forge a contract through your ruby ring. Spirits of magic, I beseech you, grant me the power of earth. My name is Clarth. So, what we actually could have done is we could have gone south from after we got Archie into our party to be fitting Demetal. We received the ring. The Amorphous Clay Golem Gnome has joined us. We received the ring from... Also here we get the Stone Wall. It's the equivalent of Firewall. It deals damage, earth elemental damage, and then a damage over time effect on the boss or the enemy. Either way, I don't think there's anything in here. Those are gnomes are gone. Either way, we could have gone from Bart when he gave us the 2 other summoning pact rings. We could have just gone straight back here if we wanted to, and we could have gotten Gnome before we even fought Jamir. Which might actually be a reasonable thing to do, because Jamir is really strong. Defeating her with Gnome might be more reasonable. Considering she is immune to lightning and seems to absorb ice, maybe earth might be a decent element against her. I don't actually know whether that's anything good or not, but at the same time, casually you would not know how to enter this door. You can brute force it. It's not too difficult, it's only 4 options each time. Like it is, what? 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So 4 to the power of 4, 16 times 16 is 256 different options. So it's not too bad. By the way, encounters in here are very, very low level, since you can visit this area incredibly early, and the game designers were nice enough to not just throw it against really powerful monsters. So that's kind of nice of them. Either way, in case you're wondering, the mansion that was over here about 100 years in the future does actually not exist around here. There's not even a cave. It just doesn't exist. I'm actually wondering whether there's anything else over here, so let me take a look. Also, enemies here are really weak. And this is how you attack with Gnome. Basically, instead of just 4 Diglets, there's a whole lot more that fly towards the enemies. So, Clarth is actually starting to get somewhat powerful. At least, that spell is significantly stronger, on average anyways, than using Ifrit, but I'm still going to tell him to not cast any spells unless I tell him otherwise. So it looks like there's nothing over there. Our holy bottle ran out. Let's go on. By the way, you might notice a pattern here. On average, we will get into 2 encounters and then the holy bottle runs out. That's just how it works out, because the holy bottle aura, the white thing around us, lasts for a total of exactly 500 steps, but we get 255 steps of no encounters until a battle. So essentially slightly more than half of the steps are used up. And we are back here, well, somewhat. Now we work our way back up to Venezia, and in Venezia we will be able to take another boat, and since we did learn where Undine resides, we will be able to visit her. If we didn't have enough money to buy the spells, now we can go and buy the spells over there if you'd like to. The way we buy passage to Undine's island is by just chartering a ship again. Hi. So what can I do for you? We would like to go to North Island. The round trip fare includes food and insurance. It costs 200 gold per person. That totals to 800 gold. Is that acceptable? Alright, let's go. So by the way, whenever the boat is facing towards south, as in exactly towards the camera, let's put it that way, it looks like the boat actually has a face. Also, I may have been mistaken. I think this is the Demitel Harbor. Yes, actually, this is the Demitel Harbor. Or the equivalent of it. If I didn't pick up this chest with the mate coming down here in Demitel's Harbor, it would still be there. So I was wrong in this with the early one. This is the one. Either way, here to the left, there's basically, you can just go back out on the island if you want to. There's not really much of a point in doing so. And here we are in the glaciated caverns. And oh boy, unfortunately there's not a whole lot of interesting things in here. I'm just more or less going to make a beeline as quick through the dungeon as possible to see, to go through here, because you pretty much visit all the rooms. There is not really any side rooms, so to speak. We need to press this switch, or the lever, I guess. What this does is it actually drains water from one area to another. Also we have random encounters, Calamari. Calamari is actually really strong. I use a flare bottle to deal more damage here. Well, with me really strong, I mean, they just have a whole lot of HP. That was 2600 HP and they're still not dead. More of those. Tiger Teeth. As you can see, Tiger Teeth is really quick to execute and also attack with, so it's pretty good. If we go to this door up here, there is no water because we pressed the switch. If we didn't press the switch, the water would not be there. This here is an orange gummy, and here's just some fish, I believe. Oh, it says Bylands. I knew it was not worth much. Either way, in case you lost orientation, this pathway on the right is actually our entrance. So we basically loop back around, but now the water is drained and we can go over here. And what does this switch do? Well, it drains water somewhere else. Of course it does. And we get a rune bottle for our troubles along the way, which is nice. And another encounter right around here. And red slugs. Thankfully red slug don't have a whole lot of HP, but if you get hit by those guys, it gets really unpleasant. I'm actually going to walk a little bit without holy bottle to get more encounters, just to show them off a little bit more. So now we have to press this switch again. The room out south of here is flooded once more, kind of like it was before, and we can actually go through the room north, which kind of makes it, well, possible really, otherwise you can't go through. So Calamari's melee attack with their thing is actually pretty strong. I don't think they have any other abilities or attack styles, so it's reasonably easy to avoid if you can more or less focus on them. And Mint just learned Acid Rain. What does Acid Rain do? I don't actually know. Lowers enemies' defense. Huh, interesting. So Acid Rain does the same thing in Seeker of Mana and Tales of Phantasia. Except that in this game here, I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually deal any damage. So we have nymphs here. Looks a lot like sylphs, but basically nymphs are, well, mythological creatures that sing for the seamen and lure them into the death. Because that's what nymphs do, apparently. Actually, was that nymphs? No, that was sirens, never mind. Nymphs must be something else. Here we find an Aquamantle. Aquamantle, kind of like Flame Metal, reduces incoming damage by water by 30%. Which we may want to use that on Mint. Just a thought. I don't actually know whether that does a whole lot. Let's just equip the Aqua Mantle for now. So, this room here doesn't have a whole lot of interesting left or right. The main points of interest are this chest here, and we find some seafood in it. That's the seafood I remember. Now, these rooms down here don't actually contain any encounters, so you can run around here forever and never get into encounters if you want to. But it also means that our holy bottle now has, once again, refreshed 255 steps. So we hit that switch, it didn't do anything. The pool of water is still on the right here. The reason for that is because in order to drain that pool of water, we need to go all the way through here. Pull this lever, and that drains the water from the right to the left. We already pressed the switch on the left, so we don't have to go down there anymore. One more encounter. More calamari. Let me actually see whether acid rain even affects those guys. Acid rain! It reduces the defense on the right guy, but not on the left guy. I don't actually know how it reduces defense, like is it percentage based? Or is it flat reduction? I deal 30 to 50 more damage, it looks like. I don't even know how long it lasts. I don't usually use Acid Rain, because when we deal damage, we deal enough damage without any trouble. Cover some TP here and get another box of seafood, because why not? Throw the switch, indeed. So, now, something happened. After you hit both of the switches, left and right in this room, something new happens in the room right over here, where there was this contraption here. Alrighty, so we're safe here because it could become dangerous. Let me also go ahead and rearrange the party. I'm going to put you a bit further in front. If we press this switch, water is going to rise in this room here, and unless we open up that hole on the left, if you notice, that hole was not there before, this would not happen. Who disturbs my slumber? Who are you? Dandini rises from the hole in the ground. Die, intruders! She's always pretty mad. Like, if you know anything about Undine in Tales of games, she is not joking around. So, that wave there by Undine just dealt a whole lot of damage to everybody. And Undine can either be really, really gentle to you, or she can just spam those waves and Chris is dead. So this is a problem. Arch is the only one alive. Firewall. So this is how Firewall looks. It creates a damage over time effect. 280 damage. And unfortunately we did not revive in time. So this is how quick it can go. Basically, Undine can be really nice to you and never use her melee or ranged attack, and only use spells or something like that, or she can do that. And it almost doesn't matter, it kind of matters, but it almost doesn't matter whether you play in hard mode or not. She can still completely obliterate you even on normal mode. And there's not much you can do about that, actually. And fun fact, in the speedrun, you play all of the battles for quite some time now already, just with Cress alone. So I'm going to have Clark cast Ifrit, hopefully interrupting Undine, whatever she does, cast Firewall, give Cress a Flare Bottle, increasing the damage done. So Firewall, once again, is a damage over time effect. It's not that strong, but the initial Firewall attack is kind of decent even. Plus, if you deal just any damage to an enemy, they get interrupted in whatever they are doing, which is why sometimes even 10 damage can be worthwhile to do in order to interrupt enemies from doing whatever they are trying to do. So, Calamari is dead. Use another flare bottle. I believe it has run out already. Another fireball. Also, you see, I deal 1000 damage with the lightning bolt, which is way stronger and way faster than doing anything else. But once again, Undyne can just destroy us if she wants to. But this time, she was super nice. Alrighty, we win. Crest gained the level, and we learned focus. Interesting. Mint has gained the level, Larf gained the level, and Archie gained the level, and Archie gained another level, and we get another book. I forgot the book earlier. We need to identify those, actually. My apologies, warriors. What can I do for you? I'm here for a contract with you. Alright. We'll forge a contract with your aquamarine ring. Spirits of magic, I beseech you, grant me the power of water. My name is Clarth. I do believe the PlayStation version actually elaborates a bit more as to why Undyne is so grumpy. You literally just woke her up, and she is really not happy about being woken up. Clark gained the ability to summon the water goddess, Undyne, or Undine. So, we activate the switch, and we are out of here. Hey Glastro, welcome, and greetings to you, Drazar. Welcome to you as well. I hope you guys are doing well. I see, that makes sense, Mythic Reaver. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was thinking of sirens, but I was just associating this place here with water, which, by the way, there's no more random encounters. So there's that. And Mint, please equip the chat boots again, so we can run. Just flip this lever, and we can go outside. By the way, if you try to backtrack outside to the right, that door is closed. You can no longer go through there. Doing very well for having been awake for 30 minutes. Good morning, welcome to the world of the living. Alrighty, actually, with Undyne, we have acquired all 4 basic elements. That means we should be able to go back into the mines of Moria. Moria, excuse me, not Moria. I'm still used to that. Greek mythology is pretty interesting stuff, indeed. I was all about mythology when I was younger. Like, I was reading everything I could about those things. I don't remember a whole lot about actual things that stand in there, but I was fascinated by mythology in general. Hello, let me through please, sir. So this one here brings us back over to Albanista for 800 gold total. Let's go. By the way, look at the face. Right here, look at the face of the ship. Whenever it's facing south, it's like a gigantic face. Hello! And it's kind of tired as well. I'm sorry, boat. So, we're back in Albanista. Now we have all the elements, and that crab is... Wow. I feel like it smells some food. Whatever. Now we can actually go all the way down into the mines of Moria. So the reason why I did not go basically the, let's say, speedrun route where you go into the mines of Moria only now, you don't do multiple trips, there's no point in doing that. Aside from maybe running out of holy bottles. Which, well, running out of holy bottles is a serious issue. Because this is a really, really lengthy dungeon. But it is absolutely possible to run through the entirety of the dungeon with just the amount of holy bottles we have, total, which is 15. Without getting any encounters, by the way. So the reason why I wanted to do it this way for a casual playthrough is kind of show how you progress through this cave, like how you possibly can see, oh, well, I still can't progress, I need to come back later, and why you know that you need to build contracts with the other summoned spirits now as well. Alrighty. Now, Wait here, I'll summon the elementals. So, earlier we learned that to the east is where the wind blows from, and that is south. South is the summon spirit of wind. I don't actually know the exact wording anymore, so I apologize if I don't recite it right now. But we also learned that west is gnome. I think that's just something Lethlin wrote in general. Don't worry about that, I don't think that was directed at you, Clustro. So here we have Ifrit, and I appreciate that, Lethlin. Just kind of, that's a general notice we like to put out to people, because a lot of people, no, let's not say a lot of people, but quite a few people just come in here excited. I know everything about the game, right? Well, not everything, but I know a lot. And so they just kind of feel more liberal and free to just talk and about stuff later in the game, which, well, is not all that great, because there might be people that are just experiencing the game for the first time alongside us. So, and with this, we have summoned the 4 spirits in the 4 directions. Also, to redo this, because we died before. Let me actually put you a bit further ahead. We'll save briefly. And here we are. Let's see. Did I actually mess it up? I might have messed it up. It says, death is always at your back, for all return to earth from which they came. The fire of life is at burst to come. The tears of mourning women are on your left, and the wind blows from your right. Alright. I messed it up. So Undine is on the left. Undine is on the left. Ah, you don't look like Undine. Not this is spirits indeed. By the way, I actually really like Undine's sprite. Also, this is the only time we walk around as Clark himself without anyone else, but we do still have the full party, technically speaking, in our area, but it's kind of neat actually. Undine is west, Soph is over there, but the earth is up here, right? No, I thought... The thing is, I don't remember this because I tend to frequently forget this. I actually literally wrote it into my splits as to which one is where. Oh, there we go.
Who has awakened my slumber?
Who's there?
Come back to the obelisk.
Alrighty, now we're going. I actually forgot that he had a little speech there before we can actually go. Interesting. Thank you, Mythic Reaver. What? Is that Maxwell? That is indeed Maxwell. Are you Maxwell, Lord of the Worldly Elements?
Yes, I am. You are the one who awakened me?
Yes.
What is it you desire of me?
I'm looking for the ring I need to contract with Luna, the Queen of the Moon.
I see. Haha. Entrance to that room is forbidden. If you want it, I've got to ask you first.
Well, this is Maxwell, Lord of the Earthly Elements. So we get Flare, Also, this is how Undine looks, or Undine, 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 whatever. BAM! Holy cow! We got obliterated! Oh boy, yeah, that's not so happy. Wait, I always forget that life bottles are up here. Archie, I would like for you to use Stonewall. We have not seen Stonewall yet in action. And also, I'm going to allow Archie to cast spells as much as he wants. So either way, this is Maxwell, Lord of all Earthly Elements. We learned about him in Clark's library. Oh, wait. Undine does damage, but Stonewall doesn't. Maybe Thunderblade works. Also, this is going to deal a lot of damage, unless... So here's a funny thing about that attack that he just did there. That attack only hits whatever is on screen. Alright, that actually deals damage. Or more specifically, he bounces off the edges of the screen, so if I just scroll the screen to the right, he's not actually going to be able to do anything about me. Also, he just cast Thunderblade. That's rather unhealthy. Let's try Gnome. Rip. So sometimes Maxwell is really nice and just doesn't do anything, which is really handy. Sometimes he decides to destroy you with this attack here. In normal mode this is not too bad, but in hard mode apparently it just completely defeats us. Holy cow. Wow. Alright. Greetings to you, Spawn and PC, welcome. There's Woogie sent you. Nice. I've seen Swoogie stream recently again, I hope he's doing better now. I actually have not managed to catch his stream though. I was nuts. Yes, Maxwell is crazy strong. Keep in mind we are playing on hard mode, everything does like double damage or triple. Plus, instead of just using only a single character to train, I'm actually using an entire party in order to train, which makes Cress here significantly weaker in comparison to what we would otherwise usually have. So this is a problem. So, if you stand inside an enemy, sometimes you get a weird effect where... Ah, holy cow. You sometimes get a weird effect where you essentially just attack, but it immediately interrupts your attack, but you still deal damage. And that is actually used a little bit in speedruns, but right now, since I need to stand inside the enemy, that's not necessarily a good thing to do. Alrighty, we're going to switch over to tank Cress, which means I'm going to equip Persian Boots and the Onyx Ring, which means I will deal less damage and be slower in combat, but I will be surviving significantly more now, which is probably the way to go, considering how much damage it deals. Also, I want to spread out the party a little bit more. Let's see whether this works. Alrighty, so we try this again. We will deal significantly less damage now with Cress, but on the bright side we will survive. Probably at least 2 hits. Whereas we died on the 2nd hit earlier. Just have Clark cast Undine sometimes. So this is very predictable. And he immediately used that attack again. And again. Wow! That was super mean. Because this grab camera just scrolled to the left, because Clark was casting a spell, it actually made Maxwell back off to the left way faster than he would normally would. Let's use a Lemon Gummy, restoring 60% of my maximum HP right now. And it was not good enough. Holy cow. This is crazy. By the way, he cannot even touch Mint like now. Stop it. Because Mint is just off screen, so yeah. It failed. And I'm dead again. At least there's no durability on my item, so that's a plus. Molecular attack. I felt like my only chance was to just kind of face him, because if I face away from him, he's always going to hit, but I have a chance to block if I try to walk, if I face him. Mint should survive one Thunderblade, yeah. Need to heal up Mint here. Okay. Instead of trying to heal up, I'm just going to use a flare bottle to deal more damage. I used a flare bottle on Mint, that was not clever. Also, I'm just walking away, so Maxwell will come over here instead of taking over to that Mint. And I want Mint as far away as possible. Oh, he actually can also focus on Mint. I kind of forgot about that, actually. So I need to be close enough to use Tiger Teeth. My Lightning Bolt doesn't deal any damage. Oh, it does actually. I thought it didn't. I was wrong. But that is nice to be wrong. And we got him! Holy cow! That was a lot tougher than I expected it to be. And we gained a whole lot of things. Learn Antidote, and I should finally actually identify those books. I still haven't done that. I just realized.
Ho 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 ho! Aren't you the powerful ones?
Please, allow us to enter the treasure room.
All right. Not only that, I offer you my powers in a contract.
I never thought I'd ever have this opportunity. Maxwell, the Lord of the Worldly Elements. This is truly an honor.
Thanks, Pops.
Pops? I don't get it.
Regardless, we'll contract through your turquoise ring.
Turquoise? I forgot again.
That ring. The one you found down here.
Spirits of magic, I beseech you, grant me the power of judgment. My name is Clarth. Good morning, Hydra. Welcome. How are you doing? Clarth gained the ability to summon Maxwell, Lord of the Worldly Elements. Neat. And, you know, Undine is not that great. Ifrit is unfortunately kind of weak because of how the game mechanics work. But Maxwell is insanely powerful. I will demonstrate this at the next opportunity, but Maxwell is just crazy good. I'll just keep the tank equipment on interest at this point. So, and we get treasure! Look at all these treasure chests! Whee! Look, a ring! Really? This is why we went down here. It's just a normal ring.
I found the ring too. Here's another.
They're broken.
None of the other chests seem to have rings in them. Well, Clark, you're the smart one. Now what?
Amazingly enough, I haven't a clue. Let's consult with Runeglum. So, we found rings, and we found a question mark rod and an hourglass, that's amazing, an elixir, 6,000 gold, a rune bottle, verbena, black onyx, and question mark armor, and a question mark armor. Alrighty, let's actually take a look at those thingies, because it's finally time to identify the question mark thingies. To note, by the way, this is still, I believe anyways, the longsword, so we don't need to identify that. And I actually want to keep that around for a specific reason for later. But where are the rune bottles? There, we only have 5, so let's identify from bottom to top. Alrighty, question mark armor is a mithril mesh, chainmail made of mithril and enchanted silver, This is actually pretty decent armor for our lighter equipped heroes. We might want to equip the other one too. This is 2 mithril meshes essentially. Block and X increases HP by 30%, it's really good. If we use a rune bottle on it, it would increases TP by 30%, so we can switch those between, but I like the HP plus. Elixir is nice. Hourglass is always amazing. The question mark rod is the rune rod, a staff with a series of runes carved into the ebony wood. And it doesn't seem to do a whole lot. I don't actually know whether it has any special properties. Question mark book is Rabionis, a book with pages yellowed by age. Its text is written in blood. Whoa. I had no idea. So, and then we had another question mark book as well somewhere. Where is it? And now there was another one. There it is. What, another one? Really? I thought we had a better one. But maybe it was just a random drop that we got by chance. Oh well. There's another question mark weapon. We get another ice scimitar. Interesting. Alrighty. And that's that for now. We have no more rune bottles, so we would need to buy more. And we also got a bunch of things in order to sell them. Aquaman! Aquamental. Yes, it did read Aquaman, I guess. So, and now we just walk back out of this dungeon here. Pretty straightforward, actually. I'm too lazy to deactivate the fire. The rabbi that ate a box within a box. Yep, rabbi is rompy. So we are now going to talk to Runeglom and figure out what do we do with those little rings. What do we do with those rings? We'll see. We're back outside. And well, let us just consult Runeglom immediately and see what he has to say about those kinds of thingies. Just running back into the castle. Actually, I could just walk instead, so you can actually see something of the castle, because that's one of the environments you may not have seen all that much, so walking is fine. So, Runeglom is in his science laboratory down here. Greetings, sir. Ah, you've returned. What news? I don't remember the voice I had. Give me a second. Oh, I see. We reached the bottom floor of Moria. Excellent. We found these rings there. A moonstone. So you can't contract with Luna now? What's wrong? Can I speak with you outside these walls? So, you need to fix them. Can you do it? No, but I believe my friend Edward knows how we can repair them. He's done a lot of research on mystic artifacts such as these. Where can we find him? His house is in the west of here. I'll write a letter to him for you. Thank you. Runeglom gives you the letter to Edward. So, you know the house in the west that we were earlier there, the maid opened? Well, we can now go there. Good luck. Thank you. So, shall we be off? Something is bugging Chris. What is it, Chris? Well, I thought I heard someone talking to me. You, class, you're not worthy of such a holy weapon. Chris, are you alright? I am alright. I'm just hearing things. He is indeed hearing things. That's kind of weird. So, and here we go ahead and restock on some holy bottles before we go anywhere else. So, we are now going to visit Edward. Who is Edward? Well, apparently a friend of Runeglom's. So let's see what he has to tell us. Cook, cook. Hello. Who's there? My name is Clark. We are looking for Edward. Can you give this letter to him? Edward's wife, Lilith. Oh, it's his wife. It's not a maid. I actually did not know that. Oh, so Runeblom sent you. Sorry, but Edward isn't here right now. We're really in a hurry to talk to him. Well, if Runeblom trusts you, then so do I. Edward knows that Albanese doesn't have the power to fight against Taos, so he's looking for people to join the fight. Do you know where he went? He said he'd be heading to Freeland first. Thanks, we appreciate your time. When you do see him, please tell him that we're all okay here at home. I'll make sure he knows. If we hurry to Freeland, maybe we can catch up with him. Hurry to Freeland, let's run! I'm just hearing voices in my head. I mean, he didn't specify voices, he just said he's hearing things, so... The wind? Maybe he didn't sleep enough recently. You know. So we run over to Freeland and try to see whether we can find something. Oh, it's not a maid. Yep, it's his wife apparently. I did not actually realize or know that it was specified like that. Let's see if anyone knows anything about Edward. Let's see. Mr. Crab, do you know, sir? Mr. Crab, no, Mr. Crab, do you know it? Oh, they don't want to talk to me. So, then we are looking over here instead. Wow, it's hot. In a way, I hope Edward isn't here so we can just leave. I wonder if that guy knows anything. Excuse me, sir. What is it? We're looking for an Edward. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I saw him. He was here about a week ago.
Do you know where he went?
I think he was headed for the southern oasis east of here.
Thank you. Perhaps we can catch up to him. Oh, maybe. Maybe. Here's to you, Val Aliu. Welcome. Wow, thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate those. And if you are interested in getting into Zelda Randomizer, there's a lot of resources and an entire Discord full of really awesome and friendly people that can help you out in any way, shape or form if you have any questions. It's pretty good. Hi.
Edward? He moved on to the oasis to the north of here.
Okay. Doggy! No, it's not here. Alrighty, we go to the other oasis then. Let's see. Greetings, how are you doing?
What?
I said, have you seen Edward?
I haven't seen any hatbirds.
What, Edward?
You asked me if I'd seen your hatbird.
I said Edward, not Hatbird. Are you deaf?
Lighten up, it was just a joke. Edward moved on to the next oasis north of here.
Also, greetings to you, Thorgrim. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. You may have been here earlier already, actually. Thank you for the 150 bits. Appreciate those, Kamaru. And greetings. Edward? He headed back to Olive Village a little while ago. I don't believe this. We've been wandering around the desert for hours. Well, let's go back to the village, I guess. I'm sure Edward must have stopped here. Let's ask that guy again. Excuse me.
You again.
Has Edward been back here yet?
Yeah, I think I saw him enter the inn a few hours ago.
Thanks. Hi.
Edward? Yeah, he came here looking for basilisk scales.
Those are used for medicinal purposes, aren't they?
Yes, but they're not so easy to come by. There's also a risk of being turned to stone by a mother basilisk.
What's a basilisk? They are by far the most dangerous and solitary creatures in the vast desert. They resemble a cross between a lizard and a fish, and have extremely long and sharp teeth. Worst of all, they can turn you to stone with a single glance. Generally, it's just best to run from them. I assume Clark said that.
Anyhow, it's gonna cost you 45 gold to stay the night here.
Alrighty, let's just stay.
Sleep well.
Deaf is pronounced deaf, for info. Thank you. I always do that wrong for some reason. I always pronounce that wrong. I appreciate the correction. Also, good to see you, Ghost Eye. Hope you're doing well as well. So, he's looking for basilisk scales. What if we had those basilisk scales and could bring them over to the headboard? I mean, Edward. So basically, what we're looking for now is basilisk scales. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the thing is I have been saving up since, well, until now, dark bottles. Dark bottles increase the encounter rate, and we are looking for basilisks. Wow, alrighty, we found out one already. It actually is somewhat rare-ish, it's not all that common of an encounter. And they do indeed turn you to stone, sometimes anyways. Clark is using Undine instead of Maxwell. I want you to use Maxwell, sir. Lightning Bolt is actually really good against basilisks, they are somewhat weak to it. And here's Maxwell, 500. Each one of those little projectiles has a damage range of like 170 to up to 1000 or even 2000 damage. Lightning Bolt was mastered and we acquired a basilisk skill. So, here's the thing, in a speedrun what you do, the first time you get to Alvanista, you head over to Midgard, buy equipment, and then you just straight up defeat 5 basilisks in a row. You need at least 5 basilisk scales in order to progress the story, and that is simultaneously good training and, well, good for money, and also might as well do it while you're over there anyways. So that's kind of what you do there. I'm not going to get basilisk encounters in a row. So what do you do in a speedrun? Holy cow, I actually do it. Ha, surprise. So what do you do in a speedrun? Also, I should tell Clark to not cast any spells anymore. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, I'm petrified. By the way, if you are the only character alive and get petrified, you will automatically lose the battle. Boom. That's good enough. Another basilisk sale for me. So, there is a thing called encounter manipulation. Wow. But you don't need to use encounter manipulation if you're that lucky. And what I'm just doing here is I just use lightning bolt, and if I'm lucky it's going to be defeated without me getting turned to stone. But the nice thing is, because Mint is still alive here, I actually have a decent chance of, well, surviving this regardless. And I just used up my last flare bottle apparently, so I can no longer use it. Phoenix learned and Crest gained a level. That's nice. Phoenix is a long-range attack that deals fire-based damage for Crest. It's actually really nice. We will be using it. And I'm just going to save after each encounter. We need 2 more basilisk skills. And here's Harpy and Arumi. Harpies are the weak enemies that we fought in the Metal's castle quite a while ago, so they are easy preys. The Dela, on the other hand, that we also can meet in the desert, are quite a lot stronger, as you probably know from our previous experience, or maybe you haven't seen it. But that's kind of what we do. Also, in case you're wondering, who is poisoned? Neither Mint nor... wow, another one. Out of habit, I just always want to use flare bottles, but it just doesn't work if you don't have any. Out of habit, I always want to use flare bottles, but I don't have any. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Run away, mate. Run away, mate. So once again, I need to be far enough away from an enemy in order to use the lightning bolt. Lightning bolt is the only thing that deals decent damage. Tiger Teeth is not terrible, but it has a pretty reasonably high chance of the basilisk blocking the attack, and he can essentially counterattack then. Which is something I kind of want to avoid. So one more basilisk skill, and I just realized I kind of made a mistake. Either way, I remember now what I was talking about. Archie is poisoned. Wow, we got ridiculously lucky with 5 basilisks in 6 battles. That's crazy. Like, when I said it was rare, it was more in the sense of there is, I think, 4 different types of encounters that can occur here. And you basically have a 1 in 4 chance to get a basilisk encounter without manipulating the encounter. I'm actually going to briefly demonstrate how you manipulate encounters in the speedrun. So what you do is you save, reset, and specifically on the Japanese version, on my console specifically, because it actually is different on every console apparently, I can just go and get into a basilisk encounter. Wow, on this one too. That's really nice actually. Alright, that's really handy because I did not know whether I would get into a basilisk encounter right away on the fan translation as well. Because if you play this in emulator and try to do the same encounter manipulation, you get different results. Different emulators give you different results, and different consoles even can give you different results from what I learned from Ruadath, who actually started creating a tool-assisted speedrun for this game. Ooh, we learned Nurse. Either way, I did not revive the other guys because I kind of wanted the power level crest a little bit, and Mint was mainly there to give us a little bit of safety in case I get turned to stone, which did happen quite frequently. But you can get poisoned or petrified while you are dead at the same time, so we still need to remove that status effect from poor little lady here. Also, Mint learned Nurse. Nurse is amazing. Summons angels to heal the entire party. It's a group heal. It's really efficient, it's really strong, and really quick. The only downside is that we don't necessarily want Mint to cast that in combat, because it is once again just kind of stopping the flow of combat action for a while, and costs you a bit of time. Also, our Dark Bottle is still active, let's not have that active anymore. But Nurse is incredibly good. Also, we have 6 basilisk skills, and we will give all of them to Edward in order to progress the story. So we could actually sell 1 basilisk scale. Also, what basilisk scale do naturally, if you get some more, they actually heal a character full and also revive them if they are dead, and remove all status effects, kind of like an elixir, but on the outside of combat. So, something else we got while doing this stuff here, we got the Phoenix. Phoenix is a long-range attack, transforms your body into the flaming bird of legend. It's a long-range attack, fire-based damage, so I don't necessarily want to use that in the desert, but it's actually kind of good. It's a bit awkward, a bit slow to use, so it's not fast, but it has specific uses that are really, really handy. So, motel number 6. Greetings, sir.
You've got basilisk shells? You can stay here for free while you wait for Edward.
Stay the night? Sure.
I'll inform the other villagers.
Why would you inform the other villagers? Probably in order to, well, get a hold of Edward.
Edward is here to see you.
So, it's actually never specifically stated, I don't think, but my theory is that Edward is basically testing people that want to see him, whether they are worthy of being, well, allied horses, one way or another. And that's why he lets you hunt for basilisk scales, and the villagers of Olive Village are kind of in on it. That's just my theory. I don't actually know whether that's true or not. Either way, Edward is here. Finally, we managed to get a hold of him. Hi. You look familiar. So, you're the ones who collected the basilisk scales? Yes, here they are, Mr. Morrison. Mr. Morrison. Mr. Morrison? You remember, this guy was called Tornix D. Morrison. The one that sent us back into the past. The one that still had a bit of magic left in him, apparently. Yes, his last name is Mr. Morrison. Why do you look so surprised? Edward, Runglum sent us to speak with you. Runglum, you've all come such a long way to find me. What can I do for you? Let's sit down. This may take a while. Ah, so it was you who saved Prince Charles in Alvanista? Yes, that was us. Well, it ended well enough, but about the rings. Any ideas how to repair them? Well, these rings were made by the ancient wars, and no one has been able to create items with the same magical capacity as they did, so replacing them is out of the question. So, you don't sound terribly optimistic. What you need to do is get through the Ymir forest and consult with the elves there. But the entrance to that forest is forbidden. Runglum can arrange for your admission. I see. I can't thank you enough for these eggs. Eggs? I assume he knows basilisk skills. Trying to collect them by myself is a bit too dangerous. Please, when you are ready to face Daos, come find me at the Midgard's fortress. I actually always told that story wrong about this bit here. Interesting. Mr. Morrison, wait up! What is it? Please, look at this. I think it will help you. This is quite an old book. What's this? My notes? My signature? Tornix D. Morrison gave me this. Tornix? I know no such family member. You have no way of knowing him. He hasn't even been born yet. He's your great-grandson. I know him because I was born in his time, a century from now. Then, time travel really is possible? I was just getting ready to abandon my research on it. You can't give up, or else my being here will never happen. This isn't right. I can't allow you to tell me any more about the future. Why not? Archie, there's something I still haven't told you. It's about Cress and I. You see, we traveled a century into the past to get to this world. We're both from the future. Wait, are you saying that... I'm 100 years older than you? Yes, Edward's descendant Tornix is the one who sent us back here. I really like those flashback scenes. Basically, they just visualize rather than just tell through text. It's really nice. You already know the results of the events that take place in my time. No man should know that too much about his own destiny. All that can do is breed either laziness or worse, hopelessness. I think it's best if you avoid telling me about my future for the rest of your stay here. I need to live my life now, not based on what I know will happen years from now. I suppose you're right. I won't say anything more about it. Look, it's quite possible that your presence in this time has already altered the history and sent the path of the world down a completely new branch of possibilities. Or it's possible that time moves in a linear motion, governed by fate. No one really knows. It's part of the mystery that is temporality. Mr. Morrison, I'll see you in Midgard when we're ready to do battle against Daos. Have you discovered a way to return to your own time? Not yet. We've got to deal with Daos first. I'll try to find some more information on time travel before we meet again. Amazing. I can't believe I almost gave it up. You can't give up? Thank you, Chris. You've given me new hope and energy for my studies. We've got to get back to Alvanista. We need permission from the royal family to get into the Ymir forest. If we are going to see the elves, anyways, let us go. Indeed. So, we learned quite a few things. I'm going to give Clark the permission to cast Maxwell, but Maxwell only. So, whenever I have him cast spells on his own volition, it will be Maxwell currently. Because Maxwell is just insanely powerful. It basically overshadows all the earthly elements, like it should. But it's just a little bit ridiculous. Just a little. So, we will get into an encounter unless I use a holy bottle here. But it will also last long enough. Actually, it won't. Until we are back out of here. So, we need permission to get into the Ymir forest. If you were to... well, actually, you will see. I'll explain along the way. And we are going back to Rune Glum, Rune Glum, Rune Glum, Rune Glum, Rune Glum, Glum. Hello, Runglum. Hi, how are you doing? Runglum, may I talk to you for a while? Yes. Have I met Edward? Can we talk outside? I can't believe Edward is really going to try to take on Daos. We need permission to get into the Ymir forest. Alright, but I'll take a day to get the paperwork done. Alrighty, well, he takes a literally to get the paperwork done, so what do we do in order to pass time? We go to bed. And so we do that.
Have a good rest. Sleep well. And don't enter the castle in the middle of the night this time.
Okay. I just realized there's only 3 beds. Either someone sleeps on the chair or... well... whatever. I have an idea, actually. Music in this castle indeed needs to be updated. Hi. Sorry it took so long. Pin this on your chest, but remember that even though you have the royal crest of Alvanista, the elves will still not allow a half-elf into the forest. So we received the Alvanista's royal crest. We are actually now officials from Alvanista, basically. To get to Ymir, just head off the eastern bridge, then go all the way south, then head west. Alrighty, let's do that. And now we are allowed into the Ymir forest. So that is basically, you know, when we go down to the harbor towards the desert. We need to go to the west instead of to the harbor to the desert, and then we get to the Ymir forest. Also, half-elves are not allowed, so...
Half-elves? You mean like me?
I'm sorry, Archie.
Hey, it's okay. I'll just wait here in the inn and relax.
We'll be back tomorrow. Indeed, we won't take too long, Archie. You can just stay in the inn. Something like that. We're playing Red Riding Hood. So either way, what we're going to do now is we go over to the Ymir Forest. So, as mentioned before, there is an entire area to the west to explore, but there's not a whole lot aside from the Ymir Forest, and we didn't have passage to enter yet. You basically get stopped by the guard who tells you, "Halt! No entry!" And that's about it. Not too interesting. But here's the Ymir Forest. 1, 2, 3. And we use a holy bottle here.
Who are you? I'm afraid only elves are allowed this way.
We have permission from His Highness. See this royal crest?
I see. Please continue on.
By the way, yes, we are only 3 party members now, so can be a bit tricky to survive here, in fact, because there's actually enemies that they deal a lot of damage. On top of that, well, I mean, all enemies deal a lot of damage in Hardmode, but those deal a lot of damage on top of dealing a lot of damage already. But also, they turn you into stone, they petrify you. And you might be wondering, hey, why you're not getting into encounters? What's going on? Why? What are you doing? Hello? I just exploring the area, and I took 3 steps into the area, used the holy bottle, and then stepped 1 up. And that is basically just to avoid literally all encounters in this area by overflowing the step counter. The reason why I did this is because I'm actually not sure there's anything interesting or worthwhile on these areas here, which is why I'm basically using that to explore. By the way, I love that effect of stepping onto those bridges. This looks so good, just kind of walking on those bridges. When you initially step onto it, it just wow, wow, wow. And then the lowest, it's so nice. It's such a simple effect, but it works so well with the game. And there's leaves falling. I just love how this game looks, it's so good. Either way, don't worry, we are going to get into encounters. I was just curious about that. Ooh, chest. What is in there? I actually don't know. Oh, lily and oak root. Lilies are not that bad. They are somewhat resilient to my attacks, generally speaking, but not too bad. But also, the oak roots here, we've met them before, they were weak to lightning, and right now is no different. 2000 damage for a lightning attack. Pretty good, I dare to say. We just deal more damage thanks to Mega Halberd. And here we have a mixed gummy, basically 1000 gold for our purposes. And another encounter right around here. And it's just a single lily. So lily doesn't really do anything particularly special, I don't think. Oh wow, I actually clipped to the chest. That's interesting. And we found a sage. Found a sage in a chest, guys. Must have been a goof off at some point. Sage, once again, it's an item, just to show you, that increases our maximum HP by 5%. At some point I will use rune bottles on those thingies and increasing it by 10%, turning our sage into a red sage, but we don't have quite enough resources and money for that yet, I dare to say. Also, the longer we wait, the more maximum HP we gain out of it, because we have more maximum HP. Like ASMR. I'm glad you enjoy it. So we find some lavender. Lavender increases your strength by 2. Well, actually, it increases it by 1, but once again, use a rune bottle on it, and then it's 2 instead. It's flat too, so we should do that sometime soon, since there's no really benefit of waiting any longer. Wait, is that 3 lavenders in a row? It is. I have no idea. By the way, I know strength is somewhat relevant in order to deal damage, but I don't actually know how much of a difference it makes. I wonder whether I should just wait and gather all the lavenders and use them at some point all at once, just to see how much of a difference it makes. Maybe I can't figure out the formula or something. Huh? What is it, Clark? I thought I saw something pink behind that tree. Perhaps you're just imagining things. I don't know. I could have sworn... Something pink behind that tree, huh?
Hey, only elves are allowed into this area. Go back from wherever you came.
Take a look at this crest. We're under the protection of the royal family from Almanista. We'd like to speak with your leader. Almanista's royal crest. Alright, just a moment. Follow me. And here I have Rambart. I'm sorry I kept you waiting. My name is Rambart. I'm sort of in charge here. My name is Klarf, and this is Cress and Mint. I've got something to ask you. Take a look at these rings. They're rings for contracting with magical spirits, but they're broken. We heard that someone here may know how to repair them. What we need to do is get to the Heimdall Stone. Pick up anything you'll need for a day's trip at our stores. Then we meet at the north end of the village. He's all business. He's all business. By the way, did you notice so far? It's kind of been a little bit of a subtle change in terms of party style, but basically, since we met Klarf, he has been more or less the party leader. It's not Cress. Sure, he handles and does various things, but so does Mint, but Klarf is kind of our main guy, in a sense. It's kind of interesting. So we are here in the Elven village. Hi, how are you doing? What a perfect day. That's nice. So maybe we can get new weapons here. Hello, bow shop. Huh.
Are you adventurous?
I'm afraid all I sell are bows for archers. All you sell are bows for archers. What about the sword here, and the axe there, and the morning star there, and the metal chest, and the helmet? Maybe he just doesn't want to sell us anything. That's fair. They don't like humans. They have a good reason for not liking humans, probably. I don't know. Dime store. Hello.
We have many great medicines for sale.
Apple gummy, orange gummy, mixed gummy, life bottle. I already have all of those? I guess I did restock earlier. Paper or plastic? Just kidding. We elves only use 100% recycled paper. Okay. Welcome. So here we can get holy bottles, always handy. Can buy a holy rune. So here's the thing, holy rune, it says increases your max HP by 5%. Why would you ever use this over an onyx or a black onyx? Because that increases your maximum HP by 30%. So the description of this thing is off, it's not quite right. What it actually means, it recovers 5% of your maximum HP every once in a while. Kind of like the mental ring recovers TP, this recovers HP. So it's a bit of a weird description. We could actually buy another mystical rune if we wanted to, but we don't really need to. But we have the money now. So what else do we have in here? Ooh, a house all the way over here. Oh, hi. This door is locked. It must be used for some kind of storage. Probably. Hi.
It's my turn to hide now. Found you, found you. How do you know I was here? My turn to hide.
Leave me alone. We gave her position away. That's so mean. Food. Hi. We sell all kinds of organic foods. So creamy cheese, sirloin steak, apple and steak. A grade A sirloin. Let's just buy one. Yum. And use it. Once again, food recovers your HP gradually as you walk around. It's not all that great, but might as well get some sirloin steaks once in a while, because why not? By the way, something I kind of neglected to do is we did get a weapon for Mint. A staff with a series of runes carved into the ebony wood. So she did actually get something else aside from attack, and that is accuracy. But unfortunately, aside from accuracy, accuracy is only useful for hitting enemies, so they don't defend or dodge for that matter. So I don't think it's all that great. Also, we have Rabionis. Still most slightly more damage, but I don't know. Doesn't seem all that interesting to me. Oh, hi. How are you doing, sir? Nice weather, isn't it? Clarth. Yes. Did we talk to you already, sir? Hi. My son lives in Phantasia. I'm so worried about him. Oh. By the way, aside from Runeblom, I don't think we have seen any pure elves outside of this village here. Hi. Now, what, Rumbard? We're looking for Heimdall, the holy place of the elven people. It's marked by a large stone with runes carved into it. What's the stone for? I'll show you. If we follow the trails that the bush babies are on, we should reach Heimdall fairly easily. The trails that the bush babies are on? I never knew that they actually marked the path, but now that you mention it, that's true. So, welcome to Ymir Forest. This is a really big area with lots of side areas and lots of tracks, and thing is, most of the side areas are not all that interesting or worthwhile. I'm going to make a slight detour to an extent right here because I'm curious what is over here. We find a spiralane, so that detour was not worth it. But basically, this forest has a lot of dead ends, like a lot. Usually there's an item at the end of those dead ends, but, well, most of the time it's not all that worthwhile exploring. And since it's so large, I'm actually not going to get all the items and stuff from here. Ooh, Snake Man and Drakes. Those things are scary. They, with each attack, have a decently high chance, if they hit me anyways, to turn me into stone. Kind of like Basilisk, but with a hit instead. So you want to be somewhat careful around those. We actually got lucky there that we didn't get turned to stone so far. There's 2 chests here, and we get a holy rune, and a black onyx. So those are 2 items that even if you don't use them, they are really good for money if you want to sell them. Then just further to the west, we find Savory. I believe this is TP plus 5%, we can turn that into HP plus 10% if we use enough holy rune bottles on it. And then we have here, this is the reason why I came over here, an hourglass. Hourglasses, stopping time in battle for 10 seconds is insanely good. And if you feel like you don't know when you want to use that, well, it's okay if you don't know when to use your hourglass. Just if you feel like there's a strong enemy and you could use it right now, just use it. The thing is, I feel like for casual players, the hourglass is a lot like elixirs in Final Fantasies. You want to just save them for emergencies. And then when an emergency is there, maybe there's going to be a bigger emergency where I really want to use it, and stuff like that. And you just kind of get into that loop, but I say just use it, because otherwise you're never going to use it. And even if you don't use it until the final boss, you will be able to use it on the final boss, at least. So, if you want to. Otherwise, you can just use them for fun. That is perfectly acceptable too. Either way, I went the wrong way. I need to go one more to the east. There, that's the chest, Savory found. And wait, is it one more to the east? There's no, there's a bush baby. By the way, bush babies, they make really cute sounds when you interact with them. Meow, meow. I really like those. There's more bush babies here. I actually never realized that Rambard is indeed correct. They do indeed mark the way. Also, we can take a look at his status. He has a pretty interesting portrait, I dare to say. I've never actually looked at it until just now, because I didn't realize NPCs do have portraits. So... well, he is sort of the village leader. Sort of. He didn't want to call himself the leader. It seems like he's more of a makeshift leader, like as if it was out of necessity rather than free will. Which is an interesting thought. By the way, there is an item behind here. That is a Gorgon amulet. What does the Gorgon amulet do? Well, if you think of Gorgons... Gorgons are also not really... it's kind of weird. Basically, sometimes you relate them to petrification. And what the Gorgon amulet does for you is it prevents petrification from happening entirely. By the way, this thing is incredibly expensive to buy, so finding just one here randomly is really nice. Also worth noting, a lot of guys will actually mark that Gorgon amulet because it's so hard to see, they don't even know it's there. And here we have a resist ring. Deflects one magical attack. Can be actually quite useful. And hey, we arrived here already. Is this Heimdall? The legend of Ymir states that a magical spirit is sleeping within the confines of this stone. Origin? In the legend of the creation during the Ragnarok War, several magical spirits were imprisoned. The spirit Origin has the power to renew items to a previous, more original state. I see, of course! Perhaps that explains the ability of the dwarves to create such an amazing artifacts. Origin was their king, you know? The king of dwarves. Please try. Alright, stand back. Oh. It is done. They're absolutely gorgeous. Alright then, on to Luna. Then we can help Mr. Morrison. North of Freeland continent and south of Midgar lies the Tower of the 12 Stars. You can probably find Luna in that tower. Thanks, Rambard. We are in your debt. And repair the Moonstone Ring and the Topaz Ring. What does the Moonstone Ring do again? The Topaz Ring do again. I forget. Not sure. Oh, no? No, I actually have no clue. What does the Topaz Ring do? Let's take a look real quick. So, Moonstone Ring. The wearer is shielded from light elemental attacks, that is specifically. So I assume that's the same as a fire. Luna, by the way, the element of the moon, is light at the same time in this game, so it is actually kind of like holy element in a sense. The Pass Ring, the wearer becomes a smarter fighter. So the pass is not yellow, so not electricity in this game. It's more of a increased intelligence type of stat. Oh, by the way, something else a lot of guides are kind of missing. There's boots behind here. This stone is made of some material I'm not familiar with. Yes, but there's elven boots behind here. What does elven boots do? Elven boots? Oh, Gorgon. Oh, Medusa is one of the Gorgons. There we go. That makes sense. That's why it's related to petrification. Thank you. Elven boots are made to increase your speed by 20%. I don't actually know how exactly they work, but I think the Nightmare boots are just straight up better. But it would be weird that Elven boots are in here and Nightmare boots as well, but I guess Elven boots you can buy, Nightmare boots you need to figure out how to make. By the way, I would like to point out that the music in this forest is amazing. And we're just backtracking now at this point. I'm not going to use any more holy bottles just so we get into a few more encounters, because I didn't realize we would be able to avoid that many encounters. Kind of silly, actually. I want to fight at least some enemies. More snake men and drinks! Clarf, use Maxwell, please. And in fact, Clarf, I would like for you to cast Maxwell on your own volition. Because Maxwell is incredibly strong. It stops the flow of combat, but it is so strong that it is absolutely worth it. And you know what? I didn't master... Oh, I'm going to master Tiger Thief soon enough. I should just keep using Bladestorm until I master that. And then we might be able to use some combination abilities sometime. That could be interesting too. Also, this is Phoenix. Looks pretty sweet if you ask me. Once again, it is Fire Element. It takes quite a long time in order to get started and actually attack. And the damage isn't all that amazing. It's pretty decent. But for how long it takes to actually get started, it's a bit lengthy. By the way, the bush babies are down here on this path. In a speedrun, I've always wondered, wow, those bush babies are always in the way. Well, now I know why. They're actually marking the path. That's kind of curious. I'm actually curious that Clark decides to not cast a spell. There it is. 148, 144, 400. And yes, the variance on Maxwell damage is just crazy. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Yes, I love that little cuckoo in the background. I went the wrong way. Verbena found. But they don't actually mark the right way. I kinda have to, I guess. Verbena increases agility. So the enemies have less chance of actually dodging my attacks if I use it. So that lightning bolt is actually going to miss now because Maxwell just destroyed the lizardman it was targeted at. But yeah, those lizardmen are a bit infamous. They are indeed not to be taken too lightly. I feel like I'm getting lucky avoiding death here. Life bottle? I did not know there was a life bottle here. Well, now I do. Well, I probably knew at some point, but I deemed it not really necessary to pick up. Yeah, Maxwell destroys the rest of the enemies. And we get some apples from an apple tree. So basically this is a wandering apple tree. Just kind of a corrupted one, but it's an apple tree after all. Alrighty, we are back and... Hi.
Look, I've got a stranger.
A human?
No, she's an half-elf. What?
Hey, let me go. If you let me go, I'll do you a little favor once you get back in the forest. Maybe you can use those ropes. I promise you'll like it a lot. Hey, where are you going?
That voice, it's... Archie.
Archie, I knew it. You told us you'd wait in Alvanista. Well, I got bored. Can we please get these ropes off of me? They're starting to shove in my beautiful skin.
You know this girl?
Yes, please untie her.
Rumbard, we can't make any exceptions. You know the law. All half-elves that come into the village must be put to death.
Wait.
The innkeeper.
Let her go. I'll take her place. Just let her go. Please, Rumbard, I beg of you.
I see. Take your ropes off.
But, Rumbard,
I said do it! Oh, my little Archie. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I do love you. What? I am so confused. Mummy? Something wrong? I've got to get back in. That's my...
You know the law. Get out.
Hey, you can't hear me. Mummy, Mummy, I want to see your face again. I love you, Mummy. Oh. Archie. Well, and we won't know how that continues for a while, but don't worry, there will be more to that. So, the thing is, I don't think it's necessarily explained yet, but you probably kind of know where that is headed. Essentially, Archie didn't know her mother at all. In fact, Archie thought her mother was dead. I think that is fair to say right now. And there will be more to add to that entire story a bit later, but it's actually kind of something. Also, by the way, this is the only time you actually have Archie in your party inside the Ymir Forest, at least a little bit. And well, now that we have the rings repaired, we can go to the Moon Tower, and afterwards we are probably ready to help out Midgard in the battle against Daos. Maybe that might be helpful for us. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is it for now for Tales of Phantasia. We will be continuing this very soon and continue this about at this pace, I would say. We're going through the game at a reasonable pace. I'm not going to do a whole lot of side content, but there's at least 2 things I'm going to aim to do later on. But I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Until next time.